I'm not sure what's going on with my hair. It's a good job I don't give a shit, isn't it, really? Don't know what's going on with it. I meant to say that what I had established a week ago, just over a week ago, I had remembered, I couldn't remember the words, and I haven't been well enough to describe what I'm talking about, but there's a thing called paradoxical effect, or when you're taking analgesia. And what it means is that you can have a paradoxical reaction. So the pain that you're feeling is caused by the pain relief medication. And I think that's what I was dealing with. And I came to that conclusion. I came to that conclusion along with, I got to stop this and looking at my ankle. So, yeah, that's what that was about. Yeah, it was in the back of my memory. I'd heard of it before, and I had to do a bit of a search. And when you can't remember the word paradoxical, but you know what you're talking about, you'll know what you're thinking about the effect that it can have on your, on pain meds. It took me some time, so that's that. Um, I I watch ECM, and she does the same thing every time she starts to talk about something. She puts her head in her hands and laughs, and I don't know what laugh it is, because it's not funny, but it's a sort of oh my god laugh, and I'm finding myself doing the same. Signal gate, I think I talked about. I'm not going to talk about it. Just the whole thing that's going on is just not improving, and it's difficult. You look back 2 or 3 weeks, and when you thought it couldn't get any worse, and it continues to get worse. It's shocking, and it continues to get worse. Along the side of that, there are blocking orders now coming down from the courts. So there is something happening along the edge. But the problem with this current regime is they don't give a shit, and they just carry on plodding on and walking over and obstructing and block. They won't do as they're told. So I'm at a loss. And I was talking to Mark about it this morning and thinking about, why do I need to look? Because Mark is of a different persuasion and prefers not to look. And I think there's lots of people that prefer not to look, and so be it. But for me, I need to know what's coming. I need to be prepared for what's coming, and that's why I'm looking. Whereas other people that don't want to look may get sideswiped when we get what's coming. So that's why I'm looking. I can't pronounce it, Christy Gnome. I don't know how to pronounce her name. There's a short video on Blue Sky that I've not shared with anyone or anywhere, and won't do, of her standing in front of the Venezuelans that were deported, and they're in a cage, and they're stacked up, sitting or standing, but there's like shelves, just like there was at Auschwitz and all the other concentration camps in Nazi Germany in the 40s during World War II. And she's standing in front with her Rolex watch, her hair extensions, her Botox, her lips, diamond ring, whatever else, standing in front of these guys that are all behind her, telling us, don't do this, don't do that, you don't come here, if you come here, this is what can happen to you. And it's like, she's just committing war. They're committing war crimes, and there's that thing, isn't there? Those that don't read or learn history are doomed or destined to repeat it. And here she is, one step away from Nuremberg. It's like, what the fuck? And, that whole I was following orders. But the thing is, I don't think she's following, I think she's following her own orders. And I think that what I'm seeing is they're all following their own orders. Trump looks smug. He looks pissed off. He looks closed off. He looks like he's going through the motions. And all of these sycophants are doing their own thing. Nobody is telling them what to do. They're telling him what they're going to do, and they're doing it. It's just unfucking believable. So she's standing in front of this cage being threatening, and I hadn't known much about her. I hadn't bothered to read much about her, and I've just skimmed through Wikipedia, and she looks like a nice person. Like fuck. Just unbelievable, completely on the other side of everything, must be anti-vax because she was anti-COVID and didn't do anything to help. Was it South Dakota or just Dakota? Didn't do anything. In fact, put stuff in place there that made their COVID deaths far worse. I'm not going to go into her because I don't like her. I don't want to, because she is just grandstanding and disgusting and just another bimbo. They're all bimbos, aren't they? They're all bimbos. And this isn't coming from a jealous nearly 70-year-old, but they all have this bimbo look about them. You've got, what's her name? What's the press secretary's name? See, I don't take their names in because it's like, oh God. Is it Angela? Doesn't sound like her. Is it Angela Levitt? She looks like a bimbo. Sam Bondi, is it Sam Bondi? Bimbo. Saw a video of Taylor Green yesterday, really having a go at a UK reporter, journalist. Really, really nasty. What a nasty woman. And she's another one that I haven't really followed because it's like, I can't take all of that in, there's the ones, that you do take in, but it's like, oh my God. So I'm not really going to share it today. I'm not going to, well, apart from I've turned it on here, sorry, because it's not getting better. I get a rundown each evening my time. It's morning in New Jersey, I think it is, where ECM lives. I get a rundown from her each early evening, which I find really helpful to help me understand and make sense of what's going on. We started watching again. I think I might have watched it twice. Mark, I think, has only watched it once. Years and Years, which is a drama, mini-series, which was written in 2017 and was first shown in 2019, which was during Trump's first term. Yeah. And at the time we watched it, we were coming towards the end of Trump's first term. And in this, they start talking about in Trump's second term. And back then in 2019, we would have thought, oh yeah, right. And now it's horrific. It's really quite frightening because it's very, very close to what we're currently experiencing. So we sat and watched it last night, the first episode. And at the end of the first episode, Mark said, don't think I can do any more. And I went, well, we don't have to watch it. And then he said to me this morning, well, we can watch it, but probably only one episode a night. But it is really a bit too close to home now. And I don't know how writers do that. I don't know how writers can look or see. They must be really taking in a lot of stuff, a lot of political stuff, a lot of patterns, and understanding a lot of patterns, because they seem to see stuff that's coming. Was it the Newsroom? I think the Newsroom was also ahead of itself in terms of seeing what was coming. And that was Aaron Stalkey, wasn't it? Very clever writing. So yeah, you don't watch Years and Years. I don't recommend it because it's scary. So we have, somebody had a go at me about somebody was worried about Ida. Obviously, just come to the channel and there's Ida all on her own, and she doesn't know anything about anything around the story of Ida, and wants me to go and find a mate for Ida because she might die if she's on her own. Well, she's been on her own for 2.5 years and she's not died yet. I think she's going to die of old age. We know that Ida's on her own. We know it's not ideal, but the choices that we had at the time that her mum died were not ideal either. So this is the way it is, and her flock is the hens. So what was I saying? Yes, so we've got art this afternoon. Mark has lit me a fire because I was so cold. I'm warm now, warming up. In fact, don't move. I needed to go and shut it down because it's come up to temperature. Otherwise we'd get overwhelmed. It's not very warm here today. And the weather it's going to be 14, but it was really quite misty this morning when I woke up. And it looked, when I looked out, it looked really wintry as in, the mist and everything, but actually it was 6 degrees, so it wasn't desperately cold, although I was, so I didn't open any of the shutters. I'm going to make cafe fried chicken. I've got no cornflakes because I normally crush up a load of cornflakes. I've got breadcrumbs, but I've also got, when I can buy ready-made, like a meal, a salad meal, and sometimes I do that. And when I'm shopping, I'll say, I'll get one of those. We'll have those for supper. And they come, because they're a lunchtime meal, they come with a fork, a breadstick, and a cookie. The cookie is not in the salad, and they come with some salad dressing, and they're really nice. But what you end up with in a plastic wrapper, two breadsticks and a fork. I can't remember whether the fork, I don't think but the fork is disposable. And we'll chuck all the forks, they're wooden, I think. Chuck those on the fire. But I'm going to crush up the breadsticks and then add them to the breadcrumbs, and then put loads of seasoning and everything in the breadcrumbs. The chicken has been marinating in yogurt for more than 24 hours, probably, 36 hours, I think. So I'm going to go and do that in a minute, which is nice. My desk, I ordered a new desk and it's coming on the 4th of April. It's been quite a long wait, and they had my money. By the time I get the desk, they will have had my money 6 weeks. It's a bit of a con, isn't it? We'll take your money and then you'll have to wait. I also ordered stuff from British Essentials, primarily because I needed tea bags. I'm still waiting. I've had other stuff through, but there's still, I think, 2 parcels. They're coming in small parcels. There's still 2 parcels to come. Both parcels have tea bags in. One for Joe, tea bags for Joe, decaf, tea bags for us. And they were that was the reason for ordering. Again, 4 weeks ago. Not really important, is it? It's not a it's a first world problem, isn't it? There was, just to finish, there was a thing that came out of Brussels yesterday, which was a bit worrying. And I'm looking for it on my Facebook feed because I added it to my Facebook feed. I added a lot to my Facebook feed yesterday. Lots of Atlantic stuff. EU households should stockpile essential supplies to survive at least 72 hours of crisis, Brussels has proposed, as Russia's war in Ukraine and a darkening geopolitical landscape prompt the bloc to take new steps to increase its security. It was a bit worrying. I mean, I've got loads of stuff, loads of food, a big freezer full of, well, not a big freezer, it's smaller than the freezer we used to have, but I've got a freezer full of meat, which will last us until Christmas anyway. I've got lots of other stuff, but it's the things around it, isn't it? It's those little things like was saying to Mark, you can't keep fresh veg. You can't keep potatoes for longer than, I sometimes have them there 6 weeks or more. So I thought that when I do go shopping, I'll buy some of those packets of muslin, I think it is, which is puree. It's powder that is like potato puree. I do not like potato puree, but it will be good to have something in the cupboard for. I'm going to say like Wolfie Smith used to say in Citizen, can't remember, used to say, when the time comes. So yeah, it was a bit worrying to see that, but it came from the FT, Financial Times. Anyway, that's quite a uplifting vlog, isn't it? I know it's not. I'm sorry, but it's not a very uplifting time, is it? And I'm really sorry for Kathy, who it seems you've had a couple of panic attacks, and I'm really sorry about that. And I hope you can find a way around it. Okay, I'm gonna off to cook. Thanks for watching. See you next time.